Hi everyone, Tyler Mannion here, NPC and IFBB Pro League Vice President. This will be the Mr. Olympia recap on men's physique. So first, we'll go over the top two, and then I'm going to cover all the way down to 8th place so everyone can understand what we were seeing on stage. So first, we have Ryan versus Brandon. Ryan brought a very, very balanced look overall. Nothing was out of proportion. Arms and shoulders were very proportional to each other. We weren't seeing the shoulders too big. We weren't seeing the arms too big. Then he displayed nice chest thickness, great V-taper in his front pose, all down into a very deep and conditioned core. Brandon's front pose, his arms and shoulders, he streamlined them a little bit. Why did he do this? So more of our attention goes to his torso. In his torso, he displays great chest thickness with a very nice V-taper down to deep and conditioned abs. So they have two of the best front poses in the whole entire Pro League. It's very, very hard to differentiate between the two. I think from the front, the show is very, very close. Their conditioning was really on point. They were both the best conditioned guys on stage as well. From the front, I would lean slightly towards Ryan on this day, but I really could see it going either way between them. Again, they're displaying what we want to see from men's physique. They don't look like bodybuilders. They don't look like big classic physique guys. They look like men's physique with nothing out of proportion and really everything in balance here. Now we get into the back pose. As everyone saw, Ryan made huge improvements to his back, even just from earlier this year in Pittsburgh and New York. The density and the thickness and the detail that he displayed back there was crazy. In the lineup, actually, with all 8 guys, even with guys with great backs like Aaron and Emmanuel, your eyes just went right to Ryan's back. That's how detailed and crisp and full it was on stage. Showcasing, again, great taper, shoulders that are in proportion, with his body to the back. The triceps, again, are not too thick. We're not seeing huge, thick arms from the back as well. So everything is in proportion here. The back was really dense and detailed, and this was where he really beat out Brandon. Brandon's back has a ton of detail to it, especially with the condition that he's in. However, he just needs to add more width to his back. As you see in his front pose, he displays great taper and great width, but from the back, it's just not the same. And really, the only thing he needs to work on is adding width to this pose. Looking at these two, they were the clear top two. The conditioning definitely made a huge difference for both of them. But overall balance, again, Brandon doesn't have to be the widest guy on stage to win again. He just needs to be wider for his frame and for his physique. So it's all about balance with great conditioning, great fullness, and great detail, what they brought. But I think they're both great representatives of what we want to see with men's physique moving forward. And to add to that, they both have very good legs that balance out their physiques. They are not top heavy whatsoever. So with the board shorts that are up a little bit higher above the knee and obviously tapered, so they're a little bit tighter, you can see they both have leg development, which shows off a complete physique and really enhances their look. In 3rd place, we had Aaron. So Aaron's conditioning definitely was a little bit off at this show. I think obviously last year at the Olympia, his conditioning was 100% right on. Now here was slightly off. So in the front pose, while he displays really, really good taper, his arms aren't too big. His shoulders are pretty balanced with his arms. He has, pretty big shoulder cap, but it's nothing too out of balance here. His abs were not as deep and as detailed as they have been, holding just that slight bit of water there. And again, he looked just a little bit shallow through the chest as well in this front pose. So I think maybe even if he was on 100%, it could make his chest look a little bit thicker, so he would lose that shallowness look that he had here. But overall, it's still a really, really good front pose. Again, he also has nice leg development, so he doesn't look top heavy. And it's just a very complete front pose that just with some little tweaks, he could really nail it. Aaron has a great back, but he's hitting this pose definitely a little bit different than he has hit it before. And the way he was hitting this pose, it really wasn't bringing out the detail all throughout his traps and his mid-back, and also wasn't displaying the width that he normally displays in this pose. Couple that with being just a little bit off conditioning wise, and a pose that used to be extremely, extremely strong for him when he turned around and, would be lights out against some people. It just wasn't the same this year. And while it was still very good, it's a very good back pose, but the posing difference combined with the conditioning being a little bit off took away from this back pose, so it wasn't as strong as it normally was. And that's how he ended up in third.